Shalom, let's give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem El Shai, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us His word. I just came across this article about, you know, it's going to be an eclipse or another blood moon next week, November 19th. So that's just more signs from heaven, the Most High is showing the people. Uh, say it's going to be the longest lunar eclipse of the century. It will happen on November 19th. It may last up to 3 hours. So this is an article out of Times Now News. It's dated November 6th, 2021. It's entitled Longest Lunar Eclipse of the Century will happen on November 19th. May last up to 3 hours and 28 minutes. So this is a sign from heaven, these eclipses and these blood moons, and this is supposed to be the longest one of the century. Is that telling you something right there? It says the eclipse will also be visible from South America, Eastern Asia, the Pacific region, and Australia. Besides this eclipse, there will be 20 total partial and prenumeral eclipses between 2021 and 2030. The space agency said the eclipse could last up to 3 hours and 28 minutes, during which 97% of the moon will appear red. Blood moons, man. The eclipse is likely to be longer than any other eclipse between 2001 and 2100. So the longest, eclipse or blood moon of the century. He said 3 hours it's going to last up to. The eclipse will take place on November 18th and 19th, and people across the world will be able to catch a glimpse at different times, depending on their time zone. The longest partial lunar eclipse of the century will occur on November 19th with great visibility in North America, predicted NASA. So it's going to have great visibility in North America and around the world. South America, Eastern Asia, and Australia. So this whole world is going to, pretty much the whole world is going to see this sign from heaven. The space agency said the eclipse could last up to 3 hours, during which 97% of the moon will be red. The eclipse is likely to be longer than any other eclipse between 2001 and 2100. Earth will pass between the sun and the moon in the early hours of November 19th, casting a shadow on the latter. NASA said the eclipse will peak at 4 a.m. Eastern Time. The eclipse will take place on November 18th and 19th, and people across the world will be able to catch a glimpse at different times, depending on their time zone. But the night gazers on the east coast of the United States will be able to get the best view from 2 to 4 a.m. Eastern Time, according to NASA. The eclipse will also be visible from South America, Eastern Asia, Pacific, and Australia. The partial lunar eclipse is on the way, taking place overnight on November 18th and 19th, when the moon slips into the Earth's shadow for a couple hours. Weather permitting, the eclipse will be visible from any location where the moon appears above the horizon during the eclipse, depending on your time zone. So yeah, it's definitely something to watch out for. Now that's a huge swath of the planet that'll be able to see at least part of the eclipse, including North and South America, Eastern Asia, Australia, and the Pacific region. So check the timing of its visibility in your area. Frost moon is another celestial event that will accompany the partial lunar eclipse this month. Frost moon It's the last full moon of autumn. So yeah, this is another sign of the times, the signs of heaven, man. Most High will show these blood moons, you know, that some violence is coming, you know, that great and terrible day of the Lord, man, the day of darkness, man. It's just a sign that we have to be, that we're in these end times, that we have to watch out for, man. First scripture is Luke 21:8. And he said, take heed that ye be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed. The time draweth near. Go ye now, therefore, after them. But when ye shall hear wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must come to pass, but the end is not by and by. You know, there's always these wars and rumors of war, especially in the Middle East and around the world. For Asia, South Korea, everybody's gearing up for World War III. Russia, there's all kinds of rumors of wars that we're hearing about. And he said unto them, nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilences, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. And this is another great sign that shall be from heaven, the longest of this century. You know, so it's going to last about 3 hours. And pretty much the entire planet is going to be able to notice it. Yeah, so November 19th, next week. This is a great sign shall there be from heaven. This is definitely one of those great signs from heaven. That scripture is 2nd Ezra 19:1. And he answered me then and said, behold, or measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, yeah, measuring the time, man, that we're in. All these prophecies that we're seeing, man, coming to pass. Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people of the world, you've seen the uproars now. You know, there's been nothing but uproars. You know, since that autumn spring that took place in the Middle East years ago. You know, nothing but uproars of the people. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, the end is manifest. Even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonder, powerful effects and endings and effects, powerful works and endings and effects and signs. So that's how we know we're at the end, man, because we've seen these signs. The Lord said, you know, when this world, this word is spread across the entire planet, that's when the end will come, you know. And the word has been spread across the entire planet Earth, you know. And once all the elect has been sealed, as it says in Revelation, you know, that's when the Lord is going to release, you know, this destruction, you know. I mean, he's going to give, you know, permission of these angels to release that destruction on this earth, you know. But that time has to be near. It has to be. But yeah, you know, I came across this another article on TimesNowNews.com. The longest lunar eclipse of the century will happen next week. You know, longest blood moon of the century. So definitely want to be on the lookout for that. Lord willing, you know, be able to see it. But yeah, keep your eyes to the skies, man. With that, you know, shalom.